He sees a burning saneh. He sees a burning bush. He sees a bush that, basically like a piece of scrub, because we're not looking, don't think about a fully formed boxwood or anything, please. You know, we're talking about some scruffy, scrubby piece of vegetation, which is, however, on fire with a very distinctive aspect to it. And what is that? It's on fire, but it's not being consumed. It's not burning. It's on fire, but it's not burning. And so what this is cluing Moses into what? To the fact that we're not in Kansas anymore, right? That this is we're stepping into a different dimension. You know, all of a sudden, things are not what they seem. And you have to keep in mind that Moses, growing up at the court of Pharaoh, was probably familiar with magic. Because like we have discussed, or we will discuss, magic was looked upon by the Egyptians almost like we look upon technology, a way to get things done. All right? And so we have Moses approaching this phenomena. He's familiar with magic. He's seen magic at work, but somehow this is different. Somehow this isn't really what he has seen before when he was thinking of magic. And not only that, he hears his name, and his name is what? Moshe, Moshe, Moshe. It's repeated 3 times. Moshe, Moshe, Moshe. And in the scriptures, because of the archaic language, this is a way of calling him and making it really important. You know, when people's names are called 3 times, it's usually an indication of God calling them. Like when Samuel gets called later on, and he goes, Samuel, Samuel, Samuel. It's that kind of thing. Okay, so Moses' reaction is that of Abraham and Samuel. Because what do Abraham and Samuel say the first time when God calls him? Here I am. Here I am. And the text speaks of the angel of the Lord calling out to Moses. And the word is Maleach or Melech, which is messenger. But it's God speaking through this divine agent who calls out to Moses. And actually, interestingly, the Council of Nicaea in 325 identifies that voice speaking out to Moses from the burning bush with the pre-incarnate Jesus. And so do Justin Martyr and Irenaeus, who are early church fathers as well. So, as God is wont to do, he identifies himself with fire. Verse 2 of chapter 3. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and lo, the bush was burning, and yet it was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. When the Lord saw that he had turned aside to see, God called to him from the bush, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. And then God starts defining the parameters of the encounter. Do not come near. Put off the shoes from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. So already, this is a different God, a different manifestation of God than it would have been with the patriarchs. Remember we said the patriarchs were able to see God face to face, Abraham and Isaac especially. They saw God, they discoursed with God face to face. Now there's a new generation. It's a newer dispensation, and God is already setting some ground rules. This is holy ground, and you are to treat it like such. God expresses himself with fire because of the property of fire. Now think about it. Fire is what? It's life-giving. It gives you light, but also what can it do to you? Burn. It can burn you. It can kill you. Right? It can consume you down to where there's nothing left. Those are all the properties of fire. Think about all those properties that are being blended into who is talking to Moses as fire. In fact, Paul himself refers to God as what? Our God is a consuming fire. This is the fundamental setting for the calling of what Moses will be called the first of, a prophet. a nabi, N-A-B-I.